Tonight's guest is Bhawna Gautam. Bhawna is an author, speaker and mindfulness expert who comes from a medical background. She focuses on the transformative power of positive thinking, self-love and emotional well-being. She encourages people to embrace mindfulness and cultivate self-worth to create lasting change in their lives. She has established herself as a prominent voice in the realm of self-help and mindfulness. Good evening, Bhawna. Welcome to the show, and wow, that is an impressive CV.
Thank you, Will. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Okay, firstly, what inspired you to start your journey with mindfulness and positivity?
So, Bill, this is going back around 10 years. There was a time when I felt a deep inner quest to find my purpose. And in that search, I realized that many people around me were silently struggling, craving motivation, clarity, and emotional strength. So through my own experiences and self-realization, I discovered that I had this wonderful gift for writing and motivating. So I turned that gift into my purpose to inspire and uplift others. And I've been doing this for nearly 10 years, and it has brought immense happiness, positivity, and growth even in my life.
Wow, that sounds terrific. So many people struggle with stress. What's a simple daily habit that can help people to calm their mind?
We have to remember that the source of stress may be external, but the feeling of stress is internal. So to manage stress, we need to work on our inner selves. Now, one very simple exercise is breath awareness, especially if you're able to do it in a quiet space. So all you have to do is sit quietly, close your eyes, and just follow your breath. No force, no judgment, only awareness. So allow your thoughts to flow and focus on your breath. Now, just even 5 minutes of this practice can declutter your mind and bring clarity and calm.
So is there any proper way to breathe, in the nose, out the mouth, or the other way around?
So breathing through the nose.
Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth.
In nose and out through the nose. That's right, yes.
Oh, sorry.
So inhale deeply and exhale completely.
Okay, so in the nose, out the nose. Do you have any statistics to share with us, with the listeners?
So, worldwide there are a lot of people struggling with mental health issues, and the mental health issues have been on a rise worldwide, and I think there's a lot of government initiatives now to combat mental health issue, and I feel that if people incorporate mindfulness in their lives, we can actually lower the statistics.
So is it because people are more stressed now, or maybe stress and things like that weren't reported as much long ago?
I will say it's a combination of both. So there is more stressful living now because I think people have more desires. Social media also has a very important role to play because people what everyone else is doing and they want to have more as well. In general, our lifestyle has changed over a period of time, so the stress level definitely has increased.
Yeah, well, I noticed it has with me, although I am reasonably relaxed. But yeah, the stresses of life seem to have got greater, maybe because of the internet or something like that. I'm not sure why, but it has, yeah. If someone is new to mindfulness, where should they begin? Would it be the breathing or something else?
Mindfulness might sound like a fancy term, but in fact, it is a very simple practice. It is all about being aware and fully present in the moment. So one very simple technique to practice mindfulness is to choose something that you genuinely enjoy. It could be something simple as walking, cooking, reading, gardening, or anything else. And just immerse yourself completely into it, free from distractions, because by fully engaging in these activities can act like a therapy, serve as a stress reliever, and make you more aware and happier. So this way you can also train your mind to focus on things that bring you happiness and ease, and you can also become more positive. And you're right, we can actually use the same technique that I mentioned before, that you can focus on your breathing, and that can also help to alleviate stress and make you more mindful.
Yeah, if any of our listeners have a question for you, are you able to take a question from the listeners?
Absolutely.
Yep, okay, they can do that on the number. It's a SMS or text on 0485 866 981. So how does positive thinking change our lives, and can we stay optimistic even in tough times?
Yeah, see, positive thinking doesn't change our circumstances or problems, but what it does, it actually changes the way we perceive them. So when we look at any situation with a positive mindset, we see solution instead of a problem. Rather than feeling miserable, we cultivate hope. And instead of feeling weak, we feel strong. So it is so important to look at the brighter side, even in the hardest circumstances, because it makes our mind more optimistic, and an optimistic mind always finds solutions.
People have said, and I've experienced it myself, that the things that you worry about generally don't happen anyway. Would that be correct?
That's true, and I think a lot of it comes from overthinking, because we tend to overthink a lot of things and create those problems that actually don't exist.
And gratitude, you've mentioned in your writings and stuff, why is gratitude so important, and how can it impact our daily lives?
I think gratitude shifts our focus from what is missing to what we actually have. The more we remind ourselves of the reasons to be grateful, the happier we become. So in our daily lives, we need to try and reflect on all the comforts that we have, consider all the people who have been around us, acknowledge how far we have come in life, what we have achieved, and value every moment we live. And the more gratitude we express, the more positivity we attract and the happier we become. So it's just a simple being grateful can change our lives and bring more positivity.
Achieving or getting physical things in our lives, we should just sort of more relax and just say, well, if I can't afford something, then, well, I can't afford it, and don't worry about it. Would that be accurate?
That's right.
Yeah, because people put a lot of pressure on themselves trying to keep up with the Joneses, and everyone wants the bigger TV. Well, we should really be satisfied with having a TV that's pretty good.
That's true. So, and I think that's where the comparison comes in place, and how comparison can actually make our lives more stressful, is that we look at others and see what they have, and we want to kind of copy the same thing, and we might not be able to do it. And all it does is just add more stress. While if we just focus on what we have and be grateful, and obviously try our best to work towards it, and if you are able to achieve it, be thankful again, and if you are not, then be happy with what you got.
Sometimes, people will ring up, out of the blue, they're cold calling and stuff, and they say, oh, if you do this, you can achieve this, or, win this or something like that. And I say, I'm not interested. And they say, what? You're not interested in winning $1,000? And I said, no, not interested.
Yeah, Bill, you sound very content and happy.
Maybe I've got enough money to be able to do that. I don't know. But anyway, but some people can't. So, they want to grab every chance to get more money, and there's nothing actually wrong with that per se. But sometimes, if you're just trying to grab everything, can cause stress in your life, and, your brain's just going to be chock-a-block full of rubbish.
That's true. So I think it's important to create a balance and be content with what you have, and have goals in life and try to achieve them at the same time, but not at the cost of your health or relationship or well-being. So I think there has to be a good balance.
Oh, yeah, that word balance is just fantastic, I think. Well, self-love can be hard for many people. Why is that, and how can we practice it more?
I think what we've been taught always is to give love, not to receive it from ourselves. So quite often we ignore ourselves. So it's important that we stop criticizing ourselves or stop finding fault and accept who we are and encourage ourselves. It also means that we fulfill our own physical, mental, and emotional needs. But there's simple ways to cultivate self-love. just like making time for yourself, going to gym, going out with friends, participating in activities that bring you inner satisfaction or indulging in experiences that make you happy. It's important to fulfill your responsibilities, help others, but at the same time, it's important to take care of yourself as much as you do for anyone else.
And how does positivity and mindfulness help in creating better relationships?
I feel that one of the reasons why many relationships suffer is because there's lack of understanding and difference in perspective. As we become more positive and mindful, our thinking broadens and we develop greater understanding for others. So we become more open to viewing life from other people's perspective. We become more patient, better listeners. And many relationships lack these qualities. And once we bring these qualities into our interactions or into our relationships become more healthier and happier. So that's how I think positivity and mindfulness can be really helpful in relationships.
But social media today plays a big influence in people's lives. So how can we protect our mental space and stay true to ourselves?
Yeah, see, this is much needed in today's time, that we remember not everything we see is real and not everything real is visible. So to avoid our minds be taken over by what we see, we need to take digital pauses. This is very important, that we filter what we let in our minds and also make sure that we focus on things that are actually valuable for us. Instead of focusing on whatever is happening or whatever we are seeing on social media, we need to filter out all those unwanted thoughts, because that will only clutter your mind and make your life more difficult.
Social media is so powerful, though. It's very hard for particularly younger people to turn off.
That's very true, and I think for very young people, obviously parents have to monitor and take control. But for older people, they have to discipline themselves, and I think a lot of people do understand that how social media is actually adding stress in their lives. And again, being more mindful, I think, helps you to become aware of what's happening to your body and to your mind. And once you practice mindfulness, I think you are able to have better self-control and be more self-disciplined as well.
Yeah, you mentioned before as things, sometimes what you see may not be true with artificial intelligence these days. Some things come through on my Facebook feed, and some of the time I'm sort of doubting whether it's actually true, and that's going to get worse and worse.
That's very true, and if we start believing it and then let it affect our lives, we're just going to be more miserable.
What's a way to contact you if people want to contact you after the interview today? Have you got a number or a website?
They can email me.
What's your email address?
Info.
INFO. Yep.
At bhawnagautam.com.
What do you think stops people from reaching their full potential, and how can they overcome those barriers?
Yeah, I think three very important things that I have noticed in my life and others as well is that fear, self-doubt, and a habit of comparison can actually create a lot of barrier in terms of reaching potential, because when we fear, we become more reluctant to take action. When we have self-doubt, we don't feel confident enough. And when we compare ourselves to others, we always feel behind. So the way out is through self-awareness and daily inner work. We need to remind ourselves that we all are unique, we have different abilities, we need to focus on our strengths, and once we start focusing on our strengths, we feel more empowered and confident. And we need to remember that we have our own journey, and there's nothing like being ahead or being behind. We have our own timings of what will happen, so we just need to move forward first and confident.
So what's one key message you want listeners to take away from today's conversation? Is there anything you want to say that we haven't covered?
I think I would just like to say that be grateful, be true, and be you. So be grateful for the life you have, be true to yourself and others, and celebrate who you are. And you will start to see the difference it can make in your life.
Right, I've jotted a couple of things down while we've been talking. I've jotted down calming, calming part of your breathing, relaxing, trying to relax as much as you can, be grateful for what you've got. Things that you generally worry about most times don't ever happen and never probably will happen. So stop worrying about things that may not happen.
That's right.
Good. Well, thank you, Bhawna, for talking to us tonight and taking the time to do that.
Thank you, Bill. It was lovely having this meaningful conversation. I wish you and all the listeners a great evening. Anytime.
Yes, and I'll give that again.
It's info@bhawna.
Oh, N-A. Oh, dear,
Yes.
I'm going to have to do it again. It's true.
Gautam.
Oh, the M is at the yeah. Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Now I'll do it again.
Yeah, got it right.
info at BHAWNA, N for Nelly, and then it's GAUTAM for Michael.com.
You got it right, Bill, this time.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, that was Dr. Bhawna Gautam, and she is an author, speaker and mindfulness expert who encourages people to embrace mindfulness and cultivate self-worth.